Well, I thought if I owned the bullet with my name on it, I'd never get hit by it. Because I won't ever shoot myself.
Oh, shame.
I was very anxious to do the First World War period. It's a period I'm very interested in and have read a lot about, and both my grandfathers served in it on either side, as it happened. From the beginning, Richard and I were absolutely committed to being extremely respectful and aware of the unimaginable human tragedy that the First World War was.
Do you know, we did a lot of research. Ben knew it all. I read a few books. I knew all the books about the First World War because all the stuff we wanted to write about, which was the sort of the clash of the classes and getting stuck and everything in a small confined space, were funny. There was a lot of funny stuff, and then you just had the astonishing tragedy at the end. So we felt it was okay on the condition that we ended the series the way we ended it. That was the feeling, that it was quite true, but it had to be very harsh at the end.
Sir?
Yes, Lieutenant?
I'm scared, sir.
I'm scared too, sir.
I mean, I'm the last of the tiddly-winking leapfroggers from the golden summer of 1914. I don't want to die. Really, not over keen on dying at all, sir.
How are you feeling, darling?
There was, as far as I know, no complaints apart from famously my uncle, was a famous historian and had served in the British Army and had felt very, very committed to Britain and the army as a Jewish refugee from Nazi Germany, and he felt that I was being disrespectful to the British Armed Services, and he very quickly changed his mind. He said, well, it was only one episode and I changed, you know. He actually totally agreed that it was respectful to all. And yes, we had some fun with the old lions led by donkeys idea, but, you know, that's legitimately part of our world experiences as Britons and Europeans, you know, inheriting the memories and the history of our forefathers of the First World War.
At this very moment, over 750,000 Germans are leaving the Russian front and coming over here with the express purpose of using my nipples for target practice. There's only one thing for it. I'm going to have to desert, and I'm going to do it right now.
Are you leaving us, Blackadder?
No, sir.
Well, I'm relieved to hear it, because I need you to help me shoot some deserters later on.
Throughout it, Blackadder's endlessly trying to find a way of not going to fight. Everybody watching that is sort of with him on that one, understanding why you would not want to go through with that.
He was the person that could see the madness all around, whereas everybody else, particularly, you know, Hugh's character there, who was always sort of saying, yes, certain suicide, yes, I'll volunteer, sir. And Baldric was Baldric. He saw the madness in his own trench, let alone what was going on outside and into no man's land.
My instincts lead me to deduce that we are at last about to go over the top.
Great stotter! You mean the moment's finally arrived for us to give Harry Hunn a darn good British-style thrashing, 6 of the best, trousers down?
Are we all going to get killed? Yes.
George's sort of happy-go-lucky, home in time for tea attitude was especially tragic.
Don't forget your stick, Lieutenant.
Rather, sir. Wouldn't want to face a machine gun without this.
His ideas about war come from games. George could only see real warfare in those terms. He genuinely was a lamb to the slaughter.
Yes, and how are all the boys now?
Oh, well, Jocko and the Badger bought it at the first Ypres, unfortunately. Quite a shock, that. I remember Bumfluff's housemaster wrote and told me that Sticky'd been out for a duck, and the Gubber had snitched a parcel sausage end and gone goose over stumps frog side.
Meaning?
I don't know, sir, but I read in the Times that they've both been killed.
And Bumfluff himself?
Copped a packet at Gallipoli with the Aussies. So did Drippy and Strangely Brown.
I think the kinship of stupidity between Baldric and George was a very heartwarming one. They were companions on the great road of idiocy.
Oh, now, sir, I will not have that. Baldric and I will always be more stupid than you. Isn't that right, Baldric? Stupid, stupid, stupid.
Yeah, stupidity, stupidity, stupidity.
Stupidest stupids in the whole history of stupidityness.
Although written by Richard Curtis and Ben Elton, the scripts were given added comedy value by its cast behind the scenes.
Things about Blackadder was used to go whistling to work because it was so funny in rehearsal. What would happen was just so very, very entertaining, and the rehearsal's often funnier than the show.
Every single line in the rehearsal script was challenged, always
Tim or Stephen or Hugh or Rowan would be asking questions of it. How can we make this better? It was really, really rigorous and incredibly frustrating when we could all see that something was wrong and weren't quite sure how to make it right.
I hate to raise this, having worked on it for 3 hours, but do you think it's a very good joke, this Orders Hugh, since you suggested it?
Richard took the brunt of that. They would say, well, this isn't funny, this doesn't work, and then rewriting it, or not, or arguing as to why it did work.
It was very exasperating because you'd say, actually this scene will work if you act it out. It's a scene about one person talking very loud to a person on a balcony while another person whispers to them, and you won't be able to understand the scene until we actually do it like that. And they'd say, no, but surely he should say this thing about that and the other. So sometimes it was frustrating because the actors didn't get on their feet as much as you'd like.
No, hang on, there's something wrong here. Because surely, if you're ordering a cab for a Mr. Redgrave, from Arnos Grove in that case, it should be rather than to Arnos Grove. I thought it was Mr. Redgrave who was ordering the cab. But in fact, what you're saying is that Mr. Redgrave is the person who's going to be picked up and who's on the top bell. Yes? Sorry,
We were working with an extraordinarily creative group of people, and to expect Stephen and Hugh not to chip in, wouldn't this be a good idea or wouldn't that be a good idea, would be madness. Obviously the actors had a real part to play.
It's a good joke. It's
Oh,
just
it's
that
all
the
right, it's
lead-in
good,
wasn't
it's good.
working.
All it was the periscope wasn't quite good, so, because they come right at the end of the word, but an order for 6 lengths of Hungarian crushed velvet curtain material.
That's good.
It's something.
6 lengths of Hungarian crushed velvet
This is after the
curtain material in cerise and banana.
The legendary coffee scene is an example of the improvisation that we all used to do in the rehearsal rooms, because in the original script the only line was about the fact that the coffee was made out of mud, and then somebody said, well, why don't you have sugar? Dandruff, and we all giggled like the naughty late adolescents we really were.
Baldrick, fix us some coffee, will you? And try to make it taste slightly less like mud this time.
Not easy, I'm afraid, Captain.
Why is this?
Because it is mud. We ran out of coffee 13 months ago.
So every time I've drunk your coffee since, I have in fact been drinking hot mud.
With sugar.
Which of course makes all the difference.
Well, it would do if we had any sugar, but unfortunately we ran out New Year's Eve 1915. Since when, I've been using sugar substitute.
Which is?
Dandruff.
Brilliant.
Still, I could add some milk this time. Well, saliva.
No.
It was very, difficult and testing, but the pain in the about it was that it was effective.
On the contrary, George, we've had plenty of orders. We've had orders for 6 metres of Hungarian crushed velvet curtain material,
4 rock salmon and a ha'porth of chips, and a cab for a Mr. Redgrave
picking up from 14 Arnos Grove, ring top bell.
One of the examples of how everyone would join in with ideas and suggestions would be in those long Baldrick or Blackadder similes of sort of, Baldrick, you are as much use as a, and then you could go on for ages.
We're in the stickiest situation. Sticky the stick insect got stuck on a sticky bun.
The more these things got laughs in front of the audience, the more it got ridiculously overblown.
It was an area where real creative madness could go on, and then it was the trick of trying to find which were the best little aspects of that simile and pull it back so it wasn't overweighted.
Baldrick,
Captain B!
this is a crisis. A large crisis. In fact, if you've got a moment, it's a 12-story crisis with a magnificent entrance hall, carpeting throughout, 24-hour porterage, and an enormous sign on the roof saying, "This is a large crisis."
I remember saying to Hugh and to Rowan and to John Lloyd, I said, what will happen in 6 months' time when a taxi driver says to you, oh, those Blackadders, I bet they're fun to make, aren't they? Will you go, yes, oh, marvellous fun? And they all said, no, we'll be honest and say they're hell. They're absolute hell.
Wobble.
Still to come, we reveal how these barking mad characters were created.
It was done as much as anything to amuse Rowan and Hugh, to this rather bizarre way of speaking, and of barking.
And how Britain's smelliest underdog became a national hero.
The healthy humour of the honest Tommy.
Somebody once told me that more than half the regimental goats in the British Army are now called Baldric.